So when it comes to migration, when it comes to demographic replacement, when it comes to the rights of refugees, we often see people on the left try and take the moral high ground and say that they are the adults in the room, they're the responsible ones. In fact, even criticising them at all means that you are inherently a bad person and you should be locked up, silenced, banned from using the internet, but mostly just told by your peers and your friends and family that you're a horrible person and no one should listen to you at all, right? And we saw recently in Greenland, the left have come out in support of the people of Greenland. Not the government. Like the government of Greenland, they're consistently against their own people. We've seen in the past how the government, the Danish, have been enacting forced sterilisation campaigns on the people of Greenland, how they've been very subservient to China and other globalist technocratic interests to subvert elections and also drain resources from the island or the continent. So like we're seeing a few things here where it's like the hypocrisy of the left. And when it comes to like this migration replacement, I've seen some people say, well, actually, this isn't that bad when you read it. They're actually just talking about, well, this will happen because of economics and it's probably a good it's probably a good thing. So I don't like any defense of this. I think this document, if you go read it, I don't care how level-headed it is, it's talking about the complete replacement of a people, okay? So don't like this, think it's disgusting. I think it's a blueprint of how they can justify doing what they're doing to the West. And remember, these people that are currently replacing us in our homeland are the people that are so incensed about America claiming Greenland, saying, well, that shouldn't be allowed, even though we're doing the same thing here. And I just want to talk about now Wales. Whoa. Like Scotland is bad, England is bad, Northern Ireland is getting there, Australia, Canada, but my word, Wales has lost its fucking mind. This might take a while to go through these because I've got about 10 or 12 different videos to show you here. So get a cup of tea or whatever, and then let's just watch the insanity ramp up because it's nuts, guys, and it doesn't get better. It actually gets worse as the video goes on. So I think the first video here is talking about what they want to do with some of the migrants.
And here's another pitch. Our refugees, our asylum seekers, our new Scots are very much part of our communities, and I want to see them become part of Police Scotland too. I want to see them take up jobs as police officers and police staff. I also, and this isn't in my script, I have to say, I also want to think that at some point one day, not perhaps just yet, but one day, the person standing here speaking about the work that Police Scotland is doing as a Deputy Chief Constable will have come to this country as a new Scot.
Fuck it. Right, the language that they use is awful, isn't it? The new Scots. Just openly telling you to your face that they're going to replace you. And I know we're going to talk about Wales, but I wanted to get like one in from Scotland. We all know about England. We all know exactly what Keir Starmer's doing. We know how much the Labour Party hate us. Let's ignore England for now. So Scotland, it's still happening there. They're talking about the new Scots. They're talking about the immigrants coming over, have no right to be in the country. No right to be in the country. And they want them people to police you. Now, I said all along that it's going to get to a point in this country where the native people will have had enough. And then they kick off. And all the government is going to do, and this includes England and every other place, right, is they'll just hire a bunch of the foreigners to clamp down on the natives protesting against the foreigners. And they won't be nice about it. So anyway, that's a keen example of what this person that should be fired thinks about Scotland and the new Scots and what she wants to do with the immigrants. Let's have a look at Plaid Cymru, I don't know. Let's listen to Bethed Syed. Interesting name.
We simply don't have anywhere that sells halal food. So the positivity I would like to bring is that not only that we help them, but they can help us, be it through new cultures, be it through new ways of living, new rituals that we can learn about, new foods, new tastes. For example, in East Talbot.
I'm sorry, when did the Welsh people vote that they want to have a new culture and have completely new basically a new history, new people. I don't think people voted for that. And she's promoting halal food, which is a ritualistic slaughter of animals where they slit their throats and they bleed them out in quite a painful manner. And they terrorize the animals that before they do this, because they believe that the more pain the animal goes through and the more suffering, the better it will taste. And she's supporting this. So she's saying, yeah, halal foods, we need to have this in Port Talbot. We need to be accommodating of people that eat like this. We need to change to welcome the migrants that are doing something absolutely abhorrent. I think this is the same woman, but honestly, I can't tell. There's too many videos. Let's listen to what she says about schoolgirls and hijabs.
One school, they had a white girl wearing a hijab. First Minister, on Friday, I was with the Ethnic Youth Support Team in Swansea, and they were saying that they would like to have much more support.
The Ethnic Youth Support Team. Do you have a white youth support team? No? Just for the ethnics? Interesting.
Going into schools and education venues in regards to trying to get communities to work together. And so in one school, they had a white girl wearing a hijab, and she walked down the street, and then she came back and she said how different she felt she'd been treated because she was just wearing one piece of headwear that was different to how she would usually dress. And I think these types of things would help children who've never been introduced to other communities or other ethnicities in their lives to try and understand how it is to live in those everyday experiences.
Right, so these kids have grew up in a homogenous society, and then you've imported a bunch of people into the country that do not look like them, do not think like them, do not act like them, and then you're going around blaming them for not being used to it and not accepting it. How about you as a government don't subvert the wishes of your people and import people into the communities that should never be there? Again, like trying to persuade you that it's your job to change for the migrants. Let's listen to this one. Prisoners should be given the right to vote.
Plaid Cymru is also in favour of giving prisoners the right to vote in the interests of human rights and rehabilitation. Disenfranchising an entire section of the population in this way cannot be justified.
They're mental, guys. They're mental. Disenfranchising criminals by not allowing them to vote, and they're probably foreigners as well, is against their human rights. What about the human rights of the people that they murdered or sexually assaulted or battered to death? No, just thinking about the foreigners and how you need to accept them. Even if they're criminals, you need to accept that they have a right, a human right, to vote in your parliament. A foreigner from fucking nowhere, Timbuktustan, third world shithole, wants to come up, commit an offence, get locked up, and still deserves a right to vote in your election. Again, these people, and it's mostly women, you'll notice that there are a couple of men in this, but women are nuts. Liberal women are just like one of the worst things that has happened to the West. Here we go.
We're not always going to be listening to the voice of the majority if they are all white voices. If we are serious about being an anti-racist Wales, and we seriously want to see that happen, there will be disagreement, and we're not always going to be listening to the voice of the majority if they are all white voices. And
so if you're white and you live in Wales and you want to say anything that's disagreeing with the government, they're just going to tell you to sling your hook, mate, do one. You're a white guy or you're a white woman. And if you criticise me, you don't have a right, because even though I'm not racist, and I believe that you shouldn't be racist and that we should welcome the foreigners, I'm going to be racist to you because you're white. Okay, let's keep going. Right, what about this one? Told you we've got some guys as well. Plaid Cymru's position is clear. A vote for Plaid is a vote for even more immigration. Oh, so it's a pro-immigration guy.
One policy long advocated by Plaid Cymru is for Wales to take the matter of immigration into its own hands through the establishment of a Welsh Migration Advisory Service.
A Welsh Migration Advisory Service. So that is the government of Wales advising foreigners on exactly how the best way to move or sneak into Wales is. That is totally against the interest of the people. That is treasonous, guys.
More
jobs.
migration to Wales, because 22,000 net migration in 2022 was 22,000 into Wales. You want more?
Wales, what's the population of Wales? Is it like 3 million, 3.6 million? It's not a lot, right? So, like, when they're saying 22,000 in a single year, that might not seem a lot compared to England or America, but for Wales, that's massive. Yeah, but we need more, and we're not going to listen to you because you're white. Fuck me. Here we go. Like, we're not even halfway through, guys. Like, this is ongoing, systemic, anti-native sentiment.
That is who we are as a party. Proudly internationalist. We see no borders where we see suffering. Let us continue to ask proudly, what can we do to help? Not
Right, if you don't see borders, then you don't have a country and you don't have a government. So then just disband your government because there are no borders. You don't represent anyone, you dozy fuck. You don't represent anyone if there's no borders. You're not even a country. You stupid, stupid traitor.
Not where are you from? So whilst the Prime Minister continues to pander to Reform's backward populism, Plaid Cymru will take no part in their race to the bottom.
How can you have something called backward populism? So it's like the most popular thing, it's what the majority of people want in your country, but because they're white, it's backwards. Again, just change for the immigrants, change for the immigrants. Forget your culture, forget your history, forget your country. You don't have any borders, especially if you're white. This one's not right in the head. Let's see what she says. It's not right when the majority of representation in an area is made up of middle-aged white men. Oh, she's a feminist and an open borders advocate.
Being totally blunt, there comes a point when pleasant discussion doesn't cut it. There comes a point when you have to say,
Shut up, you're white, and I'm not listening to you. Let me invade your country.
it's not right when the vast majority of representation in an area is white middle-aged men.
Why? Why isn't it right? I would rather be represented by a white middle-aged man than a anti-white feminist cook who seems to love immigrants more than she does her own people. If you are part of our people, because a lot of you people, let's be honest, you claim to be white until it's just not very convenient, and then suddenly you say, well, actually, I'm part of that tribe over there.
And so there has to be a decision. At what point has something got to be done about it?
Man, mental. Like, how if we can't convince people to accept more immigration, then what can we do to make sure that they accept it? It's just a conspiracy, guys. So, okay, now talking about using tax money. Like, you remember Keir Starmer when he was conned into believing, well, I say conned, probably wasn't conned, when the mosques burned down their own mosque, when the Muslims burned down their own mosque, and created a hoo-ha in the press, Keir Starmer immediately went there. Within 24 hours, he was in the mosque speaking to them and gave them £10 million. Remember that? It's interesting. Oh, by the way, recently there was I believe a sixth form college or something in Middlesbrough, the poorest town in the UK, that was told to, the funding was stripped away from it, and they said it's not going to get built because the government can't afford it. And it was a hell of a lot less than £10 million.
The community energy organisation Uniteg has been awarded just over £330,000 to deliver the Gwydd Bangla Community Energy Project. This project aims to install approximately 200 kilowatts of solar PV generation and 300 kilowatts of battery storage, kilowatt hours of battery storage across a range of community mosques.
Great. So we're funding their mosques, and then we're funding the solar panels to go on their mosques as well. What exactly are they funding? Apart from radicalism, radicalization amongst themselves. I mean, maybe they're just funding spending all of their money funding the weapons that they store in the mosques and just waiting for the right time to bring them out. As the police, famous clip, guys, of the riots in Southport when a police officer went around the mosques telling them to hide their weapons in the mosque. So what exactly are the Muslims funding? You've got to wonder, guys, you've got to wonder. Maybe they're just funding these politicians to say this shit. All right, Wales is 6% non-white. Now, the Labour Party has a problem with that.
Leadership from Welsh Government as an employer is absolutely critical. And we have an action for a recruitment target, 20% of all successful candidates recruited externally to be from an ethnic minority background.
So the country's 6% non-white, but they want 20% representation. Let's see what they say about planting trees in Uganda.
We should never forget the proud record we have in Uganda, where we've helped to plant 25 million trees.
Why? You've got homeless veterans in Wales sleeping on the streets, and you're proud of your record of planting trees in Uganda. How long do you think those trees will last, by the way? Do you think the black people over there will have the restraint not to immediately cut them down? They don't even have the restraint not to chip up and sell their own tarmac on their roads. As soon as a road is laid, you've got these bandits on the fucking road with pitchforks snapping it all up, trying to sell tarmac. Yeah, good luck with that. What about this twat? What's he saying? Eating healthy is a white concept.
All our other programmes in Public Health Wales and the local programmes. So the first thing you have to do is make those programmes accessible to people from all cultures and culturally sensitive.
Why?
And understand the healthy eating plate, for example, in some of its generations feels a bit white British. Where's the Asian healthy eating?
You feel a bit fucking racist. All right, next. I'm trying to get through these quick, guys. Let's defining sex. Oh man, with puberty blockers.
But whenever I'm trying to persuade people to open their eyes and see things, I always talk about the fact that children in care are 700% more likely to identify as transgender.
Isn't that weird? What's happening to them? Why when the state gets hold of your children, do they become radicalised and fucking demented? That should be like, well, actually, that's not something that we should be proud of. That's a correlation. Correlation, right? Cause and effect. Why, when the children enter care, do they end up being transgender or homosexual or lesbian or something? What's happening to the children while they're in care? What is going on there? We all know that one of the main pathways to this kind of behaviour, this kind of mindset, is sexual abuse. So what's happening to the kids in care? That should be the main issue. What's she going to talk about?
This is criminal that MPs who are told these statistics ignore them over and over and over again. Those children are extremely vulnerable. It's why they're doing what they're doing. We know that gay children and vulnerable children are the ones that are being caught up the most in this. They're the ones that they should be protecting, and they have abandoned them. And obviously I'm passionate about sport, but because I've had to know my subject, I've had to speak to these amazing people and read goodness knows how much stuff I've read over the years and understand it inside out, back to front. And it absolutely breaks my heart where we're going to be going. And you are going to be so busy with court cases in 20 years' time, you're never going to be able to retire, I'm afraid.
So, UK puberty blockers trial pathway surely fails ethical outcomes and competency-based competency tests. Experimentation on children is inexcusable. So I don't know, actually. I can't really tell from that whether she's upset by the fact that there's people not receiving the treatment, or that she's upset that there's so many gay and homosexual children that end up in care. I'm going to lean on it's probably the first one. Because let's be honest, these celebrities are pretty woke, aren't they? So if it is the second one, I think it's Sharon Davies. I'm not sure. I'll hold my hand up and say, okay, right, you're right on that one. There should be a real issue when it comes to the government trying to find out why so many children end up queer when they go into care and what's happening to them. But I think that she's saying actually we're failing them because these children are all just magically, for some reason, gay and queer and transgender for no reason. And we need to take care of them and give them treatments and shit like this. So, no, wrong question. Let's have a look at this one. The council will not rule out anti-white discrimination.
Across the country, many public sector training and grant funding opportunities have come to light that are open only to people from ethnic minority backgrounds.
That is complete and utter shite. Especially white men or white boys are the most overlooked demographic in this country, vehemently hated by a lot of people because of the propaganda that gets released constantly. I have never seen one programme in my entire life where the programme states, well, if you're a Muslim or you're black, then you can just do one. Never, not once. What are you talking about? Where's your evidence? Back it up with something.
Will the Cabinet member please provide assurances that the authority operates no such schemes, particularly in light of Strategic Equality Objective 3, which refers to the Council identifying new trends and groups on which to focus recruitment?
New trends and groups, what does that mean? Oh, third world migrant boat bastards that have invaded your country.
I won't provide any such assurance. If I can find grant funding to support protected people who are protected under the Equality Act for their protected characteristics in the Vale of Glamorgan, I certainly will go for that.
What a surprise. A immigrant will prioritise other immigrants. And look, they're wearing an LGBTQ plus nonce. Little banner thing there. All right, we're almost through it. Again, like, what's going on with Wales? The country is mental. It's just filled with these absolute psycho women. All right, let's keep going.
Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm Youth Homelessness Coordinator for Newport Youth Service. One of the groups of young people that we work with is young people that are asylum seekers and refugees. They come from many different countries, often fleeing from war. We can't even imagine what they've been through.
I know, yeah, it's pretty warlike in France right now, isn't it? I mean, the amount of wars that are going on in France right now. I can't even imagine what they've been through in France.
They are one of the most kind, thoughtful, caring group that we've worked with.
The most kind, caring, thoughtful group that we've worked with. Sure, all right. What about the Afghanis? Yeah? Are they the most non-rapey group that you've worked with? What about the Nigerians? Are they the most non-violent group that you've worked with? Are we just going to fucking say the opposite of the truth?
They volunteer in their communities, they attend college, as well as work in part-time jobs. We really need foster carers to come forward to offer safe and secure homes to these amazing young people. If you've got room in your home...
Sack that! No chance, mate. No chance. You take them in, you psycho. What about this one?
Refugees from Ukraine are receiving special treatment, and that other refugees, perhaps from Eritrea, Somalia, Afghanistan, and other countries, aren't receiving the same level of treatment or support. Do you think that's a fair criticism? And what steps are you taking as a government to ensure that there is equality in terms of the way that refugees arriving in Wales are being treated?
So, like, it's not just that they're taking in refugees from Ukraine, right? Which is fair, you know. They're legitimately at war. Their government hates them, trying to ethnically cleanse them. I can understand that. But that's not good enough. No. You need even more from Somalia and the other shit, the low IQ countries. We need more people from the low IQ countries, the high crime, low trust, low IQ countries, and we need to give them all of our resources, all of our funds, destroy our culture and our history, and then demonize white people for even daring to talk about it. Amazing. And then you've got the actual fatty manatees that live in the country and just hate you anyway.
There is no push by political parties to set a BAME target. So we're saying, why not consider 40% to 60% white, which is stretching but achievable. There is no push.
So they want 40% white people represented in the Welsh government. So it's gone down. Remember, in the other video down there was at 20%. Now 20% non-white. Now they want 60% non-white. When does it stop? 100% non-white? Lock you up in a cage? Fuck me, man. Oh, it just doesn't stop. Wales, Jesus, Wales.
We have a First Minister who has made a remarkable statement that he wants to see an anti-racist Wales by 2030. It's unprecedented.
Well, that's impossible because you are racist. You should go back to your country. There will be no anti-racism in Wales if you are there. Fucking can't do it. Can't do it. That was almost a Welsh African accent. That was pretty good. All right, let's see what the Muslim woman says.
We need to emphasise everything that's going on. Don't turn away, deny that nothing's wrong. Wales is not innocent.
No. That's cringe. That's too cringe. Oh, that's painful. Oh my God. Why would you sing it? Why would you sing it? I'm just going to read it and say the Welsh government is throwing money at this race-baiting clown, Nellie Adam, in its drive to make Wales racism-free. Yeah, it's impossible. They're all saying make Wales racism-free, but they're the most racist people you've ever seen. Fucking hate white people. Want to replace them, and they're like, yeah, can we make Wales racism-free? And it will be racism-free when it's 0% white. I mean, for a while, and then we'll start fighting amongst ourselves as the infrastructure collapses around us. Anyway, look, one of Wales's favourite children, true Welshman here. This is the face of Wales, as they want to paint, except he's a psychopathic murderer. And then they didn't really want to talk about him too much after that, did they? It's weird. So nearly 1 in 3 convicted killers in the UK had a prior knife offence on their record. So knife crimes are at a record high in London, with an increase across England and Wales, regularly exceeding 50,000 annual offences. On average, 160 per year with a prior knife conviction were found guilty of murder, manslaughter, and over the 4 years, prompting concerns that insufficient measures are being taken to prevent violence from escalating. I don't know why you'd say that. I mean, I'm sure one of those people in the videos that we just saw, I'm sure they'd be trying to combat knife crime and ethnic crime, ethnic on white crime. No, probably not. They'll probably just call you a racist because that's how they see the future of Wales. Wales, it's us. A soulless, dead-eyed letterbox. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, Wales is really in a lot of trouble because you see every now and again one of these things in the UK where a politician will come out and say something fucking crazy, right? Absolutely mental. And then it gets a lot of press, and usually they have to roll it back and hide the fact that they're openly racist towards the native people. But in Wales, it seems to just be systemic. It's just mainstream. It's everywhere. And this is the most popular party in Wales right now, even with Labour being as bad as they are, even with Plaid Cymru, or whatever they're called, openly hating its own people. These guys are still on point to win the next election. Maybe that's why they keep importing people that hate you and will vote for them. Because, well, they get money, they get resources, they get land, they get to be openly racist towards you. And then the party supports them even more. So I don't know, guys. Wales is looking pretty bad. Let me know what you think in the comment. If you are from Wales, let me know what it's like in your area of the woods. If it is like as bad as this looks. Because I don't live there. But it looks like it's fucking mental. It looks like it's doing the speed run of what's happening in the UK right now, or happening in Ireland. And it does seem to be worse with the smaller countries. So we're seeing this in Iceland right now. They seem to be speed running the migration replacement thing. These smaller countries, you just see the change happen much quicker. And obviously the politicians, to keep this going, they have to browbeat you, they have to gaslight you, they have to make you feel as though any kind of criticism towards them, because they take the moral high ground, they say that They are not the racist ones by being racist, so they do all the nasty, insidious social engineering tactics that they possibly can to shut you up. Let me know, guys. Wasn't it in Wales as well where they were getting the Welsh schoolgirls to write Valentine's cards to migrants saying, we're looking forward to seeing you, welcome to Wales. It's just like really love hearts and everything. Really, really creepy shit. All right, that was a long video because I was meaning to do this for a while. Look, I do talk about the UK a lot, but not really specifically Wales. So I thought I'd just do it all in one go. Like, the country is nuts. Vote these people out before they just destroy your country completely. They hate you. Get rid of them. Make sure they never go near any kind of party politics ever again. Destroy the party. Get rid of it before they get rid of you. See you later.